Corruption. It doesn't always look like a crime. Sometimes it looks like a small favor, a special approval, or a thank you gift. In Malaysia, corruption affects everyone, from rising costs of living, delayed public services, to the loss of trust in our institutions. Today, let's talk about something important: the signs, the symptoms, the warning signals that may indicate someone is involved in corruption before it becomes a national problem. Let's start with one of the most obvious signs: unexplained wealth. Ask yourself, how does someone with a modest salary suddenly drive a luxury car, own multiple properties, post frequent overseas trips on social media? Success is one thing, but when lifestyle does not match income, that's a red flag. In Malaysia, many corruption cases began with public officials living far beyond their means, funded by bribes, kickbacks, or misuse of public money. Another common symptom is abuse of power. This happens when authority is used not to serve the rakyat, but to serve personal interests. Giving contracts to friends or family, pressuring subordinates to close one eye, using influence to escape investigations or consequences. When power is abused, fairness disappears and corruption takes its place. Corruption hates transparency. People involved in corruption often avoid paperwork. They delay approvals. They refuse to explain decisions clearly. You may hear phrases like, "Don't put it in writing, just follow instructions." Why ask so many questions? When accountability is avoided, something is usually being hidden. Another warning sign is manipulating procedures. Tender requirements suddenly change, incomplete projects get approved, rules are banned for certain people, but strictly enforced on others. In Malaysia, many corruption cases involve procurement, licensing, and project approvals, where procedures are deliberately manipulated for personal gain. This is not inefficiency. This is corruption in action. A conflict of interest is another major symptom. When personal relationships influence official decisions, integrity is compromised. Awarding contracts to relatives, approving projects linked to personal businesses, and failing to declare interest honestly. In Malaysia, failure to declare conflict of interest is not just unethical, it can be criminal offense. Sometimes the signs are not financial, but behavioral. People involved in corruption often avoid supervision, resist audits, refuse job rotation, or react aggressively to questions. They may silence whistleblowers or discourage reporting. Why? Because exposure is their greatest fear. Corruption does not start with millions of ringgit. It starts with small compromises and ignored warning signs. By recognizing the symptoms: unexplained wealth, abuse of power, lack of transparency, manipulation of procedures, and conflicts of interest, we can stop corruption before it spreads. In Malaysia, the fight against corruption is not only the responsibility of SPRM or the government, it is our responsibility. See the signs, refuse to participate, report wrongdoing. Integrity begins with